Here's a live look at the White House, where Marine One is waiting to take President Trump to Walter Reed Medical Center. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, everyone. For Western Mass News at 6, I'm Pisano. We have team coverage for you tonight on the developing news. President Trump and First Lady Melania experiencing mild symptoms of COVID-19 after they tested positive for the virus. Western Mass News correspondent Mary Maloney has more.
He's had mild symptoms, but he is hard at work. We're having to slow him down a little bit.
President Trump, who is in a high-risk category for serious complications, insisted in a tweet, "We will get through this together."
I'm optimistic that he'll have a very quick and speedy recovery.
Hours before he was diagnosed, the president downplayed the COVID-19 pandemic still ravaging the country.
I just want to say that the end of the pandemic is in sight.
Thursday, after his aide, Hope Hicks, tested positive for COVID-19, the president attended a private fundraiser in New Jersey. Wednesday, he held a Minnesota rally with minimal masks and little social distancing.
We will make America safe again.
Tuesday, the president shared the debate stage with Democratic nominee Joe Biden.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask.
Biden and his wife tested negative, as did his running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, and Vice President Mike Pence and the Second Lady. But the president is now a patient and will temporarily withdraw from the campaign trail, all because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Sad as the diagnosis is that the president and first lady have, maybe it is the pivotal moment to take us to a different place as we fight this vicious virus.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
And our team coverage continues now. Many questions right after the news that President Donald Trump and the First Lady had tested positive for COVID-19. The president is said to be experiencing mild symptoms. But with the election now just a month away, much is uncertain. Western Mass News reporter Jordan McCool joins us live in studio with a medical perspective on what's developed. Jordan?
Chris, the latest word from the White House, all campaign events involving the president and his family will be turned into virtual events or postponed until further notice. I spoke with a local medical expert who says President Trump will just have to wait to get better because there really isn't much you can do to get over the virus.
President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for COVID-19 in the final weeks of his re-election campaign. Western Mass News spoke to UMass Amherst microbiologist Dr. Erica Hamilton to see what they should be doing right now.
And they have already gone into quarantine or isolation, so they'll be staying as far away from they can from other people for at least 2 weeks. This will be a little difficult for him because there are obviously people who need to get close to the president.
Hamilton tells Western Mass News the president and First Lady should be doing everything needed to get better from the virus, including drinking lots of fluids, eating well, and getting rest.
Which is obviously difficult for someone in a high-end position like he's in, but trying to get as much rest as possible. And I am sure that both the president and his wife will be under some very extensive medical observation during this time.
And she weighs in on when the president could be ready for an in-person campaign event. The next president debate is still scheduled for October 15th, 13 days from now.
Well, the CDC recommendations are that if you know that you have COVID, after you're done isolating, you know that you can go back out into the world, whether it's work or school, if you have been fever-free without the use of fever-reducing medications for at least 24 hours. Most of your symptoms are almost gone or at least getting much better. And it has been at least 10 days since the start of your symptoms.
But no matter what, Dr. Hamilton says the president's positive test sends an important message.
Well, it does show you that anyone can get it. And, you know, he is around a lot of people. And it's a job that requires you to have a lot of contact with other people.
And we posted a poll asking you how you think the president's positive coronavirus test will impact the election. And about 28% think there will be no campaign events. About 30% predict the remaining debates will be canceled. 13% think there will be an increase in absentee or mail-in ballots. And 8% believe the election could be postponed. And now about 22% said that they weren't sure how the news will impact things. Of course, we'll continue to follow this breaking news, and any information that comes out of this, we will update you on air and online. Live in studio, Jordan McCool, Western Mass News.
Hey, Jordan, thank you for that live report. Turning now to the latest coronavirus case numbers here in the state. The Mass Department of Public Health reporting there are 753 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 today, bringing that statewide total to more than 131,000. The Bay State also seeing 10 new deaths from the virus, which brings our death toll to nearly 9,300. Western Mass News is your school authority. The state releasing new information about COVID-19 cases in schools all across the state. Weekly reports will now show positive test numbers by school district. This week's data shows cases in West Springfield and Holyoke. A Western Mass News reporter, Leon Purvis, is live for us outside Kelly School in Holyoke, where the city's mayor says 2 cases are connected. Leon.
Chris, now the numbers that the state released are for students who are in hybrid or in-person learning models. Now take a look at your screen. Looking at school districts in the state, a total of 60 students and 29 staffers had tested positive as of Wednesday. Now breaking it down to our area, Holyoke Public Schools has 1 student and 1 staffer with COVID-19 cases. West Springfield has 1 student case. Now, these numbers exclude students learning in fully remote models. Western Mass News caught up with Holyoke Mayor Alex Morse. He says the student and staff member who tested positive are connected to the Kelly School, and the student is learning remotely.
These are students that are participating in remote learning at Kelly School, as far as I know, and so these aren't students that are coming into a physical school building. And I think this demonstrates the double-edged sword of having students either in school or students at home. And so we continue to remind parents and families and students, you know, coronavirus hasn't gone away.
The Massachusetts Teachers Association issuing a statement late today regarding the new report, saying the hard work to reduce the spread of COVID-19 is in danger of being undone. And our biggest fear is that the lack of support from the state for safe and sensible school reopening strategies will further delay our ability to resume full in-person learning. Now, here in Holyoke, the Mayor Morse says that the city's Board of Health is in constant communication with the school superintendent, and they're staying on top of these cases. Live in Holyoke, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. New at 6, the West Springfield Police Department's warning owners of cars with keyless entries and push-to-start engines. They say there have been reports of suspects in Connecticut using a signal booster to clone key fob signals. That allows suspects to unlock car doors and start the engine without even needing the physical key fob. West Springfield PD says there are products you can buy to protect your key fob from this type of threat. In sports news, the NFL is rescheduling some of its games. This as some players on the Tennessee Titans test positive for COVID-19. The league took to Twitter saying that the Steelers-Titans game scheduled for this Sunday will now take place on October 25th. Also, the Steelers-Ravens game was moved from October 25th to now November 1st. Both games will be on CBS 3.